With a constant threat of Nemesis on your tail, it's quite easy to miss some of the little tips and tricks in Resident Evil 3. So to help you along with your first playthrough, here's 9 things that might help you survive in Raccoon City. An important thing to remember from the start is that your combat knife doesn't break in this game. Unlike Resident Evil 2, you can slash away your enemies to your heart's content. Be sure to use it to slash at a down zombie's head to permanently kill them and conserve that precious ammo. The game constantly encourages you to avoid Nemesis, and most of the time you probably should. However, if you feel like challenging the beast, it's helpful to know that he has 2 down states. The first is where he drops to his knees and gives you around 10 seconds to escape. His second down state, the juicy one, is where he'll sometimes drop a supply crate containing either upgrades or more ammo. You'll know when you've triggered this state because he'll raise his arms in pain and stay down for significantly longer. Zombies with parasites on their head don't die like other zombies. Instead, you must shoot them until the parasite opens up and reveals an orange eye-like circle. When you see this, shoot the orange circle until the parasite pops off the head and disintegrates. As with most things in this game, a shotgun makes this much easier. The naked zombies known as paleheads that you encounter later in the game don't go down easy. They do, however, have a tell that will let you know when they're down for good. While shooting them, you'll see smoke or steam rise off their skin. If smoke is rising, they're still kicking. Shoot them until the smoke disappears. Several shotgun blasts often work well. Although it may seem wise, it's best not to make too many acid rounds. Acid rounds are most effective against beta hunters, and you'll only encounter a handful of these throughout your entire game. Because explosive A and B are very finite resources, use them instead to create the far more versatile flame and explosive rounds. When exploring for useful items and ammo, make sure you constantly refer back to your map. If you haven't collected every object, areas and rooms on the map will appear as red. Although the previous tip has one exception. If you're searching for the Mr. Charlie bobbleheads that are hidden throughout the game, note that they don't stop the room from being marked as blue. You'll just have to keep an old-fashioned eye out for these little guys. When you return back to the RPD, fans of the Resident Evil 2 remake will notice the same combinations in the police station work on the same lockers in Resident Evil 3. If your memory is good enough, you'll be able to crack these codes without ever having to find the clues. The same also applies to the safe in the West office. In classic Resident Evil fashion, it's always important to remember to backtrack, even when the game is leading you in a different direction. When you're playing as Carlos and see something that can be opened with a lockpick, don't worry, you can use Jill to open these at a later time. Also, in the hospital, there's a gap that Carlos can't crawl through, but Jill can if you revisit it later. It's worth doing this, trust us. And that's it, 9 things that Resident Evil 3 doesn't tell you.